Hey guys, it's James with Project RE, and we are outside of our Bellevue flip that we just went pending on, and it closes in about 2 weeks. We want to walk you through. I know you saw a lot of before photos, but now you're going to see what it turned out like, and we're going to run through the numbers real quick. So we purchased this property for $1.25 million. We put roughly about $150,000 in, a little bit below that, and we are closing at $1.85 million. So we were making a little bit of money on this with leverage costs and everything. We're still racking out around 75 grand on the deal, so that's a win all day long. The bad news is we timed this just a little bit wrong, and we listed this property in late August, which was not a great time because the rates had skyrocketed and the values had compressed down. So we sold this for $185. It's still good. We're still making money, but we've seen compression. And if we would have hit this market about 3 months earlier, we probably would have sold it for over $2 million. Timing is everything. So let's go take a look. Yeah, over there, actually, a year ago, someone paid $2 million for this lot where that house got built over there. So that's what we've seen. We've seen market compression, and that's to be expected when rates get jacked up. It is part of flipping. It's unfortunate. That's why you always want to save your money and make sure you put reserves aside. And we had to be patient for this buyer. We were on market for over 90 days, and I felt the value was there. We kept getting offers at 1.6, and then all of a sudden we got a surge of offers, and we went pending at 1.85, and so it turned into a win. If we would have just sold it really quickly, we actually would have probably took a pretty big bath. So patient, know your comps, know your values, stick when you need to stick, drop when you need to drop. But I want to walk you through this property because it is a really cool one. Honestly, if we would have sold it for less than 1.8, I would have moved into it myself. I like it that much. But really cool house. So if you remember before, we didn't do a whole lot here. We ended up re-drywalling. We added in all new can lights. And then this room was just really special in general because it was sunken down. It had floor to ceiling windows. It's got views of the mountains over there. And so we wanted to kind of overemphasize this room and get it more open. So before we had this closed off wall here and a closed off wall here, and it made the kitchen really tight. Just to get it nice and airy, because we have all this natural light in here, we wanted to get it opened up. And this is really important because there is comparable selling at 1.6 to 1.65. So we did still get a premium for this house because this is hard to replace. Having this much natural light, it feels really good. We had to wait for the right buyer. By opening these walls, it made the whole natural light get through the entire property, which really made it feel good. The better your house feels, the more people are gonna wanna pay. So we ended up opening up this wall, getting flow out to the outdoor of this room, and then we switched it from a galley style kitchen or a tight kind of U kitchen into a nice L with a freestanding island at this point. We did all tile backsplash all the way through, and because of the price point, even though the market was kind of starting to slow down before we bought our appliances, we still went with the upgraded appliances because we wanted to make sure that the quality was there in the house, and that even if the market was gonna sell for less, that this one was gonna sell for the most. So as you're working on your flip properties, make sure that you are always checking comparables, talk to your broker. Remember, just because you upgrade doesn't mean you're gonna get the money back, but it could make that your sale goes faster. So communicate with your team what will need to get sold. In this section through here, we had an old red brick, and we did kind of a whitewash through this section and put this rustic beam in. It actually ended up tying really well together. This saved us probably $6,000 in tile by not tiling this whole thing. So we gave it a nice updated feel without blowing the budget. And then through this section, we had this dead weird like media pocket that we just popped in a little wet bar for entertaining. All these little things will make people buy a little bit more. Again, the comps aren't trending that high. We are the highest sale in this neighborhood over the last 6 months, which does say something. We updated the powder room in here. And then the finishes we picked, again, how we got that premium is we upgraded the right things, right? The floors are not your generic 1/4 inch floating floors. We did a pre-finished hardwoods that are around $4 to $5 a foot. We used solid core doors, one panel shaker throughout the whole property. So again, give it that quality. Just because the market was sliding didn't mean that we wanted to jeopardize the quality. Other than this, the house was very basic for the renovation, right? We did the millwork, the doors, upgraded some windows, kitchens, baths. These bedrooms got to remain the same. We upgraded and did a little bit nicer Berber carpets. And then this bathroom was a like for like change out, but we spent the money updating it. So we put a brand new tub in that cost us roughly 500 bucks. We did a new tile surround. We used upgraded tile that was about 2,000. And then we did the double vanity sink. And then Megan, our listing broker, handpicked the light fixtures and the mirrors to tie it all together. I do suggest finding that right broker that can give you that little extra flavor. When I do renovations, they kind of look vanilla. When Megan does them, they add that little extra spark. So this was where most of the framing was done outside of that kitchen wall and the dining room wall. In the kitchen and dining room, we had to get structural engineering for the permitting, making sure we're putting the right beams in. But then in here, this in-suite just had a little bit of a funky layout. It had, the bathroom was tight, the closets were tight, but we had the space. So we ended up reframing this out and creating a much bigger walk-in closet. And then we optimized it with built-in shelving. It now has a nice space for a bedroom here. And then in addition to, we had extra space here. We didn't want our bedroom being 20 feet wide. It's kind of weird and actually kind of gives it a negative feel. It feels empty and vacant. And so we actually snuck in another closet for him. His stuff can go on one rack, her stuff can go in all the cool racks. And then now they can also have a TV in a location that makes sense for the bed. So little things like this, it did cost us money to frame in the wall, but it made the flow cohesive. And that's always something you want to pay attention to. And as we get into our new primary bathroom, by creating that plan, we had a tight, it was like a tub toilet vanity in a tight space. But because we went back with this closet, we were able to put a toilet room in here and to give it a much more luxury feel. And then in addition to, it laid out well to where, because we got the toilet out of here, we could get a double vanity sink and then do a nice big walk-in shower. All these things help when you're trying to sell properties. Now, we didn't sell it for the price that we thought we were going to sell it for. You know, at one point we thought we were going to get about $2.05 million. Actually, the painful part is, in April we were half done, and someone offered me $185. So if I would have took it, I probably would have made $100,000 more. But the market was ripping. We're in a really good neighborhood, and I decided to keep the investment. I don't know if that was the right call or it was the wrong call because I made less money. But the reason I didn't make that call midstream is because this is a very exclusive neighborhood and you want to know your product. It is hard to find homes on this street with this view in this kind of neighborhood. This neighborhood has its own private golf course, it's got its own private pool. That's hard to find in Bellevue, in this community. And so we wanted to keep it. Now, it was the wrong call, but if we could have got this house done in 60 days sooner, we would have sold it for 250 grand more. So just make sure you're always adjusting, pivoting your plans. We did reduce some costs at the very end by trimming down our landscaping, using a little bit more cost-efficient painters on the outside. So things like that help mitigate the risk. But overall, deal worked out great. We bought the property for $1.25. We put about $150 in. That required about $350,000 to do this deal. We're still making around $70,000 to $80,000, maybe $85,000 on the deal, and that's going to be about a 20% return on my money, roughly, which is not bad. There's nothing to complain about. So, as you're an investor, make sure you're paying attention to the market, make your pivots, get through your inventory, and then get on to the next one. Part of the reason I wanted to get this sold so I can go buy more deals. We just locked up 2 more under contract and we're going to keep things moving forward.